Hey there, here we are at Hacienda de Oro. Let's check it out. We're gonna do a nice documentary. After our visit to Cascauin, we headed to the nearby town Amatitán to meet one of the distillery owners, Iliana Partida, and visit a distillery we have never been before, Hacienda de Oro. Their tequila brand is called Amatitense. I remember meeting with Iliana once at a La Cata anniversary in Tequila, an iconic tequila bar that was sadly closed during the COVID, but I didn't really have the time or opportunity to properly connect back then. So I reached out to her via Instagram and she was kind enough to reply and confirm they will be ready to receive us for a visit. The distillery is located in the town of Amatitán, about 1 hour from Guadalajara in the Valley of Tequila. The town is commonly referred to as the actual origin town for tequila by the locals, giving home to mezcal producers even before the Cuervos mastered the craft and built an industry. Amatitán is also a short 10-15 minutes distance from the town of Tequila. They are essentially neighbors. It is very easy to find the distillery using Google Maps, so as always, it is heavily recommended. Upon reaching the yellow big gate, you will see reference to the owner Partida family. We were kindly escorted inside a nice patio with comfy chairs as we waited just a little bit. We were early. Then Iliana and Denisse greeted us and we had a little chat just to get to know each other, what we do, why we were there, and talked a bit about the industry. Then we got to go and take the distillery tour. We got to wear a helmet for safety, so we put it on and let the tour begin. So first things first, we got to see the two autoclaves and the small horno with a nice mountain as a backdrop. This isn't a massive distillery at all. Iliana explained that they try to be as socially responsible as possible. First of all, they do have the Social Responsible Enterprise distinction, which is granted by the government. And she explained they offer equal pay for the same job for both men and women workers. And finally, they offer education so the workers can potentially advance and do a higher value at their job, like being involved with distillation. Then we walked inside where we saw their brick oven. Right next to the horno, they have a small roller mill for the extraction of sugars and also a taona. However, the taona is used with the roller mill process, the way I understand, as an extra step rather than a separate process. So she confirmed none of the brands within the distillery was made with it, a taona only process. Then we went to take a quick glance of the fermentation tanks. They use a variety of different yeasts as well as wild yeast, depending on the actual brand. The house believes that fermentation is the biggest distinction factor in the processes, and I have to agree with Iliana after trying lots of different yeasts with our friend Sergio Cruz, our lead educator for our distillation course. Before leaving the production area, we went to a small presentation area where we got to see how the liquid looks like in the different stages of cutting, head, heart, tail, whatsoever. Cool, isn't it? Then we went to see the barrel room where Iliana explained they have all kinds of barrels. Some are for actual products, some are there for experiments. She mentioned they even have different grape varieties for their Rosa style tequilas, though since most red wines that are actually barrel aged use the barrels to soften the tannin, too much time spent in these barrels can get the tequila extract those tannins. And well, extracting the tannins may cause a somewhat unpleasant flavor. Then we got to swap the helmet for the sexy hair net to see the bottling. Health and safety comes first. As a small distillery, they have a very much manual process. After the tour, we went back to the patio to taste some of the house's tequilas. Proper tequila tasting glasses, lined up nicely, tequila bottles ready, and we even got some food samples to accompany the tequilas with. Such a nice presentation. Let's get to the tasting. We got to taste the Amatitán lineup. I was very much curious as I've never had the pleasure to taste these tequilas before. And then I tried the Blanco. It was incredible. It probably was one of my top 5 Blanco experiences. I was absolutely surprised how good it was. At 45%, it had quite a bit of a punch, but it hit my tongue all the right way. Grapefruit and citrus in the middle, and it went upwards with floral notes, changing its taste every some seconds to get to the peppers, and then the peppers were gonna give it to a bit of an olive oily, malty beer-like finish. I loved it. It may not be for everyone, but to me this was the tequila tasting experience. Sadly, as I explained to Iliana as well, having an exceptional Blanco raises the bar way too much, and Reposados at 36 ABV were a bit too light after the punchy Blanco. They were nice and very good, just nowhere near as impressive. The Añejo too was very good, but the Blanco truly stole the show here. We had some chat of sales and marketing, and we got to also try the Ultimo Agave brand. They have had quite some success in the States. It was delicious, not punchy as the Amatitense Blanco, but more like a marriage of Cascauín and Atanasios Blancos. It got Atanasios creaminess and that Anise-style finish from Cascauín. At $25 and consumer price, it offers a great value. It seems to be a fast-growing price tag for 100% traditional, non-diffuser made tequilas. Just before leaving, they were so cool and kind that they gifted me a bottle of my favorite Amatitense Blanco. Probably they saw my enthusiasm and thought, let's give one to this poor guy so he can keep enjoying it at home. Truly, lots of thanks to them, as we had a wonderful time and a great experience. They do offer tours, so feel free to reach out to them via social media or their website if you want to get a tour organized, and they confirmed it is available in both English and Spanish. So do I recommend you to visit Hacienda de Oro? Yes, I absolutely do. They are small, socially responsible, and are super worthy of your support. Yes, there may be some other bigger names out there, but if you have some extra time for another distillery, this distillery is a hidden treasure. Also, if you're looking to find a house for your brand, they are open for contract distillation. Not to mention, we really enjoyed Iliana and Denisse's company. They were never lack of smiles, and we had an interesting conversation all along. Cheers.